Creepy Doe, Creepy Joe, Creepy Doe, cryptocurrency show.
You're so funny.
What is going on, everyone? Happy.
Hold on.
What do you mean, hold on?
Okay, now you can go.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, depending on where you are. Welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And today, like every single day, we're coming at you live from our studio. We're in Las Vegas, Nevada. Today's topics of conversation include a full breakdown of the Senate hearing on FTX. We have video clips from Robin's Bootang, Elizabeth Warren, Mr. Kevin O'Leary, and a very integral part of the blockchain ecosystem, an actor by the name of Ben McKenzie. He spoke as well. Also, we have some good news regarding Sam Bankman-Fried, and much, much more. But before
Is he in the United States yet?
No, but we got some news we're going to share. Well, actually, first we're going to get into. But first, I have to introduce you to your other co-host.
Hola, it's your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take the old, the boring, the stale information, package it up in a fun and sexy way. Bitcoin is crashing. It's dumping. It's at 17.4. So a little pullback from what we've seen yesterday. Traditional markets are also down. So,
You calm down. Can I share my good news here?
Go ahead.
Guys, we have breaking news. Good news here, guys. Sam Bankman-Fried spent his first night in prison, and he is in good spirits, guys. He is in good spirits. Sam was spending his time in the prison sick bay and was receiving his medications on time. His medications include M-Sam patch, an Adderall every 4 hours, and Zyrtec. Several media reports describe the conditions of the jail as harsh, overcrowded, and rat-infested. Will Sam Bankman-Fried turn rat?
Did you hear the reason he tried to post bail, or the reason that he couldn't sit in jail? You know what one of his excuses was? He said this to a court, to the judge.
League of Legends, the tournament's on.
No, was that because of his vegan diet, the prison wouldn't be able to accommodate his nutritional needs? I'm not even joking, bro.
That is literally the epitome of someone who has been entitled his entire life. And so
he's like, I can't eat the prison slop today.
Going up to the warden, sir, where can I put my special food requests? And I have multiple allergies. Like, no one cares. You're gonna rot in prison, my friend.
I can't do canned green beans, only the fresh vine.
I'm sorry, Judge. The rats are a little bit undercooked tonight.
Oh, man. So, obviously, we had the House congressional hearing on Tuesday. We had the Senate Senate hearing yesterday. We got some of the most important clips pulled down, and we're going to share those. But first, we're going to take a look at what the cryptocurrency markets are doing. Before I send it over to Robin, if you're new here, please drop an hola without the H, and we will drop one back at you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Robin.
And I want to say, what are we setting the club limit at now?
900.
Stop. Yeah. Okay. We had a big day. So 350.
About 350.
All right. So we get to 350 viewers today. We're gonna open up the club. If you're not familiar with what that is, weird dance moves, celebrations. We'll explain more when we get there. All right. Yeah. Guys, hit the like button. 20 likes? Stop. What's going on? Why don't y'all hit the like button yet? Come on. Support the channel.
Maybe they don't like you, or they don't like the Raiders.
And maybe I don't even like the Raiders right now.
The Raiders? Should Josh McDaniels get fired? Put a 1 for yes, put a 2 for no.
Put a 3 if you have no idea who Josh McDaniels is. Some guy in Australia is like, what are they talking about?
Every Bill Belichick disciple has been
You're gonna have to go to
trashed.
Australia.
Every Bill Belichick disciple has been trashed. Why do they keep getting... They're a bunch of simps, bro.
Do you want to talk crypto?
I do.
Let's talk crypto. Let's get into it. All right. So taking a look at the charts here, we got Bitcoin coming in at $17,452. That is down from where we were at yesterday, where we were at the $18,000 mark. The Fed rate number came in as expected at the 0.5. I think some of the biggest takeaways, some of the biggest words that Powell had said in his press conference following the announcement of the rate hike was the premise of, we are not going to stop They're not going to stop the rate hikes or they're not going to pivot and reduce rate hikes until they're at 2%. So that was kind of large.
Good luck.
I mean, we kind of assumed until they got to 2 or 3% they wouldn't cut rates, but cut rates is off the table. And I think that was
How long is it going to take for us to get to 2%? Though? Do you think
I
they're
mean,
going to move the goalpost? We kind of talked about this yesterday.
I don't think so.
You think they're going to keep it at 2%?
I think 3% is probably more realistic. But
so you think they're going to move their target from 2 to 3%?
Okay, then yeah. If you call that,
moving the goalpost, So
then
he's been beating the drum. 2%. We got to get to 2%. We got to get to 2%.
Well, I think 2% for him is 2.75 or 2. You get where I'm getting at?
You can't say that, bro. 2% is 2%. If you want 2.5%, you say our goal is
2.75% is 2% plus 0.75. Something. There you go.
Wow.
Now, taking a look at the weekly chart on Bitcoin here, as you can see, we are still kind of in that same range we've been at for the last month. We were at 16K. So if anything, we are trending in the upward direction when you zoom out, not zoom out 3 months, but at least in the last 4 weeks.
Zoom out one day. We're uptrending.
Yeah, there you go. Now, taking a look at the rest of the crypto markets, some of your other big projects, including Ethereum, down 5.6%. Now, we also have XRP down 3%, BNB down 4%, Dogecoin down 6%. Some of the biggest gainers for today is XDC. You ever heard of this?
I have, but I don't know much about it.
Chili's, Bitcoin, Satoshi Vision.
Do you like Chili's, the restaurant?
No, absolutely terrible. It's all frozen food that two cooks warm up.
Package it up in a fun and
Their favorite. Best barbecue chicken pizza.
Yeah. They do have barbecue chicken pizza.
I'm literally about to throw this pen on your face.
And taking a look at the crypto bubble so we can get a different perspective of what the markets are going. This is on the week view. Ton coin up 30%. And then taking a look at the 24 hours, as you can see, kind of just red across the board. Not too much here to break down. Crypto fear and greed index at 31. We have been trending in the upward direction. I'm curious to see where this will close in tomorrow. And then, as I mentioned, lastly, we have the NASDAQ at 3.2.
Before you move on, even after FTX, the fear and greed index did not go under 20.
Yeah.
And that's pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
And NASDAQ down 3%. All of stock markets are down. Yeah, man, I think, the questions are, are we going to be going into a deeper recession? I think that is what the narrative that's going around in Wall Street right now.
You down to ruffle some feathers today?
Feathers?
You want to ruffle some feathers today?
Yeah, what you got?
What are your thoughts on Hex?
Hex? Not a fan.
Someone said scam coin Hex is down. Go figure. Do you think Hex is a scam?
You
can choose to no comment if you want.
This is my perspective. Hex lacks liquidity and utility. It lacks transparency. Well, it also lacks liquidity as well. So it lacks transparency. So there's a lot of opaque, vague, behind the scene, not really sure what's going on when it comes to wallet addresses, the burns. The burn mechanism that they have for what they call sacrifice, where you're sending Ethereum to a unknown wallet address.
So Richard Hart on multiple occasions has dodged the question of who has the keys to these burn addresses, which he refuses to answer. Can you imagine if he's telling people that this is a burn wallet, no one has a key, or I don't have access to it, and he's got access to it?
Okay, it's all speculative, but I haven't seen...
Don't be scared, bro. Don't be scared.
I haven't seen much evidence that it provides any value outside of store value, right? I mean, that's kind of all it does. Is it's based on the premise. It's built on the premise of stake. You buy and you stake, and
for years.
And the idea, and it feels like they just want you to stake so that you don't sell and pull your money out. I don't know, man.
You obviously don't have any Hex, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's the chat's thought about Hex? Let us know.
If you're a fan of Hex, put a 1 in the chat. If you are skeptic of Hex, put a 2 in the chat. If you have no idea what Hex is, put a 3 in the chat.
But if you know what a hexagon is, put a 4 in the chat. Actually, put a 6 in the chat because a hexagon has 6 sides.
Okay, I've lost track of the numbers.
I've lost track as well.
Okay, 1 if you're a fan of Hex, 2 if you don't like Hex. Okay,
Junior Giles, did you guys get your Trump NFTs? Or actually, now that
are
you
we
brought,
covering that?
now that he brought that up, let's cover that right now. Let me find. Oh shit. Okay, where is it? Right here. All right. So looking over here,
there is
$99.
Nobody is a fan of Hex here.
Yeah. It's to me it's sketch. I'm sorry. If you're in a Hex community, there's nothing towards you. But I just
so if you're in the Hex community, sell me on it, man. Tell me the positives of it. There's not one. I don't think we've ever done a poll and not seen a 1.
Yeah.
I've never seen 100% agreement.
We have a 43.
I mean, we have a Junior Giles says 1 to 2. So he's on the fence on the 1. So,
interesting.
Which you shouldn't be on the fence on anything if you're as far as the project's fundamentals. You shouldn't be on the fence on anything. You should only be allocating to something you truly believe in, right?
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true, especially now. So speaking of allocating, Donald Trump is allocating his knowledge and his likeness to NFTs now. He is launching an NFT trading card collection, the former president of the United States of America. He unveiled it on his own social media company, Truth Social. The cards are selling for only $99 a piece, according to the website.
Let's get some.
A sweepstakes associated with the collection launch offers prizes like a one-on-one Zoom call or a 1 hour of golf with President Trump. The collection will be minted on the Polygon blockchain, aka Polygon blockchain, with a total of 45,000 NFTs. 45,000, bro. That is a lot. That'll be the initial run of the collection. Okay, so you call these things cash money grabs. Is this a money grab?
I mean, what else are you grabbing, bro? Respect?
I mean, are you grabbing by the NFTs, I guess? No, in all seriousness, I think this has some to do with him raising money for his campaign, possibly.
I think it has something to do with him. A lot of his companies being bankrupt.
Like him or hate Trump, he's a very polarizing figure. People love him and also people hate him. But if I was able to know that I could buy one and have a one-on-one Zoom meeting with him, I would 100% do it.
Yeah.
100%.
Can we buy one to see if we can do an interview with him?
That would be dope. And
be like, hey, our Zoom call also is tied into our production.
What?
We're zooming you straight into Sin City Crypto Live.
You've been zoomed. What do you guys think about Donald Trump doing an NFT? Are you guys fans? Are you not fans? Rob, you're not a fan?
Like, so what are they supposed to look like? Do you have any idea?
I'm assuming, knowing Donald Trump.
Is it like Donald Trump with like silver hair, then the gold hair, and then like the brown hair, and then like the tan hair?
I don't know. Let's see if they show anything. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Stop. I can
Damn.
see.
That's tight. That's tight. Super Trump.
He would dress himself up in a superhero outfit, huh?
Oh man, Trump.
American flag on the belt. Like, look at that. He's in a boxing ring too with electricity.
I wish Jordan was or Jordan. I wish Biden was in there with him.
Ah, dude.
Oh man. Yeah. So there you go. If you are a fan of President Trump,
no matter if you're a fan or a hater or whatever it is, man, you gotta respect
the dude's entertaining.
You gotta respect the media. Media quality that he delivers. There is no shortage of things to talk about.
Yeah, the journalists and the reporters were definitely excited, even though they got attacked. They were excited when President Trump was in office because there was not a single day there was not a headline article they could write. All right, let's take a peek at the coin market calendar. We haven't done this in a while. Take a look at what are some of the biggest happenings in the space with some of the biggest projects. So we have VeChain, Brew 2022. Litecoin is holding a Twitter Spaces today. And then Zilliqa is doing an AMA today as well. Also, Nexo, Immutable, a lot of AMAs today. Cosmos is having a meetup in Bangalore. Not sure where that is. And then just kind of, EOS, which in my opinion is a dead project. If you're not sure, Michael Saylor did have words to say on EOS on Around the Blockchain when he was on there. And then Mina Protocol, ZK Bridge, to make ZK apps accessible from Ethereum. This is happening on December 31st. Are you still bullish on Mina Protocol, Robin? Or do you think something like Starkware, right? The ZK for
for me, if you're a smaller project and you're building and nothing broke during the bear market, you're good in my book, right? Or at least you have the potential. So if I liked you before you went into the bear market and nothing broke and you're still building, then I'm cool, man. Then absolutely. I was also a fan of Harmony. Going into the bear market, that one broke, right? Not a fan of Harmony anymore. What else? Axie Infinity broke. What else broke? A lot of things broke. And also things that, projects that kind of dwindle away and aren't building anymore, don't have anything on the horizon. You're not hearing any buzz. They're not making any partnerships. Shiba Inu, for example.
Shiba Inu, bro.
I don't know, man.
I want to cover, are you done, by the way, on your end here?
Yeah.
All right. I want to cover the congressional hearings. We're going to start with the Senate. So you had 4 people testifying, okay? You have one, Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Shark Tank, Mr. Investor, Mr. I will crush you like a cockroach, Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried is innocent. You have Ben McKenzie, who's, what is he, Kyler? He's an actor. You have Hillary J. Allen, who's a professor of law at Washington College. And you have another lady, something Sculp. Not sure her background. But these are the people that testified in front of our Senate. And so we're going to start with Kevin and his opening remarks. And Robin said this. I'm going to let you say what you said.
Yeah, let me preface what's going on here. Okay, so I watched this entire congressional hearing from top to bottom, all 3 hours of it, rewounded a bunch of stuff, cut up a bunch of this clips. I went full degen into this video, top to bottom. My number one takeaway, I'm just going to give you some synopsis here.
Yeah, please.
And then, for one, of the 20 plus senators that were asking questions in this congressional hearing, there might have been 4 or 5 that were open or pro crypto that talked about it in a way that wasn't, hey, let's ban, regulate to death, or just basically crypto's crap, basically is what the narrative was from majority of the senators. And it's pretty concerning, man. It's really concerning. And the fact that the Congress right now is, at least in this congressional hearing, the majority of people are against crypto. And if they were to have a vote, at least amongst those people, they would have banned crypto. Or they would have at least banned it from banks touching it, from integrating into our financial system, and basically just saying, hey, the overwhelming narrative was, let's let the SEC regulate crypto. Everything's a security. It was either that or
Robin, what is that?
Crypto.
What does that look like in your eyes? SEC regulating crypto. What does that look like?
What is it? I don't even know what it looks like. I'm kind of scared to think about it.
You think like Ethereum, Cardano, they're gonna have to go in there? I
don't know, man. That's kind of the thing. Is
there any scenario
are you gonna prohibit the trading of the assets, the crypto assets? Because obviously, without the crypto assets, you can't use the blockchain.
How about this? What if the exchanges have to go in? If you want to list tokens, what if you have to go in there, register with the SEC, kind of like what? Well, Coinbase didn't really register with the SEC, but kind of go in there and essentially do what banks have to do: submit reports every quarter, blah, 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 whatever they have to do. And if you do that, you can list any crypto token you want on your exchange.
Well, the sad thing is that this congressional hearing was a hearing on FTX, the implosion, and basically all of the corrupt actions that Sam Bankman-Fried and his company went through, and how they frauded. However, the discussion wasn't about Sam Bankman-Fried or FTX, and if anything, it was minimally discussed, and the entire topic was banning of cryptocurrencies and regulating and limiting cryptocurrency and innovation. Which is so crazy to me, man. When the housing market crashed and the Lehman Brothers and all those mortgage-backed securities, nobody talked about banning houses.
No.
I'm serious.
But
nobody talked about banning a mortgage or a house. But yet, here we have an exchange that was from top to bottom just going through fraud, stealing money, using customer funds, buying houses, and yet the narrative for this meeting was, let's ban crypto. Like, get out of here, man.
Well, you know what? Now that you've kind of talked about exchanges and fraud, the first clip I want to share is when the chair of the Senate, is it the Financial Services Committee or the Banking Committee? One of those. Sherrod Brown asked the panel about whether this other exchanges are also.
My first question I would like to ask all four of you, and please give as close to a yes or no answer as you can. The world is troubled by the extent of the fraud and misconduct at FTX. We all agree on that. Too many people have lost money they thought was safe. Some have suggested that what we see at FTX was unique, a one-off caused by one immoral fraudster rather than something more widespread and systemic. So starting with you, Professor Allen, does this kind of carelessness, misconduct, or worse exist at other crypto firms?
Yes.
Mr. O'Leary?
I hate her.
Yes, the unregulated crypto firms.
Ms. Schultz?
Most likely. Most likely.
Ms. Schenken?
It's endemic.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Do you guys know anything about this Ben McKenzie guy? I know he's an actor, right? Who is he? What expertise does he have in blockchain and cryptocurrency to come on here in front of the Senate and speak? Why don't you you would have figured they would have brought someone like a Jesse Powell, someone like a Brian Armstrong, who understand how exchanges work and say, what happened? And then you can ask questions like, well, if Brian was on here, is this stuff happening on every level? No, because we're doing this, and this. But you bring a law professor, a freaking Kevin O'Leary, I don't even know who the other lady is, and an actor. It's a joke. It's a complete joke. Right? You agree with me?
The panel is pretty underwhelming.
You were like, what is going on, dude?
Yeah. You know what? What's crazy is that the biggest supporter, or the most outspoken person here was Kevin O'Leary. I was looking through YouTube yesterday, kind of seeing what the vibe was. And in the afternoon, all of the content creators were basically putting front and center Kevin O'Leary on their thumbnails, saying that he threw Binance under the bus. He's backstabbing Binance. He's bad for the industry. And, maybe his thoughts on Sam Bankman-Fried, maybe he has some kind of partnership or friendship there.
Are you about to stand up for Kevin O'Leary?
No, not at all. I'm saying that
because as he says, I will eviscerate.
No, what I'm saying is that the dude, he was the only outspoken person for crypto. He's making very good points. And, he was a staunch advocate for crypto, its regulation, or at least favorable regulation that pushes the space forward.
You know why?
Now,
I think
if you were to put his personal feelings aside for Sam Bankman-Fried, he's still a very well-spoken advocate for crypto,
Robin,
he made very valuable points throughout the whole...
Let me ask you a question, though. Let me ask you a question. Did he do that because he really believes in the space and what it can do, or did he do that because he's got so much money and investment tied up in the space?
I think he truly believes in the space.
You are high.
Watch the whole thing.
You are high. If you truly... What?
Agreeing. He does seem like he wants it to be He's on the side of crypto.
I think
You think he's on the side of crypto?
yes.
I
The
think
guy
that he
is
has-
a shark.
He didn't-
does
he
not-
didn't-
You
he-
think Sam is bad? This guy's probably worse.
He didn't get subpoenaed to go there. He chose to go there for
I
to-
wonder why. All I'm saying, dude, is I don't look at Kevin O'Leary and speaking the way he spoke and saying, wow, he really cares about our space. I don't think he gives a crap
I
about
think
our
he
space.
does.
I think he
I
gives a crap
truly-
about his money, like he says on Shark Tank all the time. All the time.
Dude, here's the thing. Kevin O'Leary, he doesn't need to make a fortune in crypto. He doesn't need to return profits in crypto. The dude already has like 100 businesses. he is already a self-made millionaire, if not billionaire. I don't know his net worth. He doesn't need to convince people in the middle of a bear market for his own financial stability that crypto's good. And if anything, the dude could just buy Bitcoin and hold it and call it a day. However, he sees this as emerging technology. He sees that it's going to change the future, and I think he's behind it. I think he's behind. He recognizes the potential for it, and in his testimony, time after time, he discusses the fact that the U.S. is gonna fall behind and they're gonna get left behind. He references the MIT students.
Sam did the same thing, Robin. Sam did the same thing. He loves crypto. Oh, I want the crypto space to move forward. And what did we find out? He did not give a crap about crypto.
I see what you're saying.
I'm curious.
I'm not putting Kevin O'Leary on a pedestal, and I'm not sitting here saying he's the greatest thing for crypto ever. I'm just saying that there was a lot of people that could have went and spoke about crypto and defended crypto at this testimony. Nobody showed up. He did. And you know what? Like nobody was advocating for it, man. Nobody was speaking up for crypto, man. There was no Charles Hoskinson there. There was no CZ there. There was no Brian Armstrong there. No Tether representatives. Nobody was there defending crypto. But Kevin O'Leary was. And you know what? If he wants to sit here and be buddy with Sam Bankman-Fried, shame on you. But you know what? I respect the dude for going up there and getting grilled question after question and just being an advocate for the space. And you know what? If his motivation is to make money, then so be it, man. At least it's still good for our space. You got into this because you wanted to make money, David. And now you've changed your vision. You believe in the space. And you know what? Money incentivizes you. And maybe money incentivizes this guy to come out here and speak. But whatever the case is, he's in front of Congress and he is making damn good points on why why we're at where we're at and what we need to do to go forward. That's it.
I'm curious what the chat thinks. If you're with Robin and you think Kevin O'Leary truly cares about the crypto space, put a 1 in the chat. If you're with me and you think he doesn't really give a crap about the crypto space only to protect his money and investments, put a 2 in the chat. With that being said, we're going to go to Kevin O'Leary's opening remarks at the Senate hearing. And here's what he had to say.
I am of the opinion that crypto, blockchain technology, and digital payment systems will be the 12th sector of the S&P within a decade. Many of these technologies are going to disrupt the existing financial services sector with faster, more efficient, more productive, and more secure ways of investing, paying, transferring, and tracking assets. As you are aware, Bitcoin, a store of value, is not a coin. It's software. Ethereum is software. Blockchain is software. In the last 30 years, every American enterprise has driven major efficiencies using various versions of enterprise software, and crypto is no different. The potential of these crypto technologies is astronomical in scale. In August of 2021, nearly 3 years after I started allocating capital to the crypto sector, I entered into an agreement with FTX to be a paid spokesperson. I was paid approximately $15 million for these services, plus approximately $3 million to cover the portion of taxes due. Of the remaining amounts, approximately $1 million was invested in FTX equity and approximately $10 million in tokens held in FTX wallets. The equity is now most likely worthless, and the accounts have been stripped of their assets and, interestingly, financial records. I've written all off to zero. Because I was a paid spokesperson paid spokesperson, however, I never invested any capital from our partners or LPs in FTX. The capital lost was from an operating company that I had 100% ownership in. I'm using my own capital to pursue record recovery of the FTX accounts so I can conduct a forensic audit.
We'll stop it there. What are your thoughts?
I mean, he's talking about it being the 12th sector of the S&P 500.
Because he's got a lot of money invested in it.
No, it would be... Okay, are you going to say that for everything?
No. But a guy that comes out and defends a fraudster and says, well, maybe he's not lying, that person does not care about crypto. I'm sorry, bro. You're not going to convince me he does. I'm not saying, okay, let's differentiate here. I'm not saying that what he said is not good, right? Yes, he's the only one up there defending crypto. But I'm just saying his motives aren't that he cares about our space and he wants to see it progress forward. I think his motive is money. He's got a lot of money tied into investments and cryptos and coins and projects that the last thing he wants is for this thing to be regulated into oblivion and he loses all his investments. And a lot of people agree with me. I saw a lot of twos in the chat.
There's some ones in there too.
Yeah, like 3 of them. What stood out in his kind of, okay, so he said he's paying and hiring his own people to figure out what happened. At this point, can anyone try to figure out what happened until all the stuff comes out in court?
Well, I mean, it is on blockchain. And so if Ethereum or Bitcoin left the FTX exchange, and you can track it. Now, it might take you a couple years. Figure out, if you keep changing wallets and people just move it to a wallet that nobody knows who the owner is and it doesn't move and it sits there for 6 months and FBI's trying to figure out who owns the wallet. Yeah, it ain't gonna be anything that's quick.
Well, here's where we know what
better than trying to follow a cash trail.
So we know that at least from this article, we know that they were trying to take money off the exchange. Alameda tried to redeem 3,000 wrapped Bitcoin days before the bankruptcy, said the BitGo CEO. BitGo is the one that I don't want to say creates, but issues wrapped Bitcoin. Mike Belshi, the CEO of digital asset custodian BitGo, has confirmed that Alameda attempted to redeem 3,000 wrapped Bitcoin in the days before the bankruptcy filing on November 11th. He confirmed that BitGo knocked back the redemption request because the unknown Alameda representative involved didn't pass BitGo's security verification process. They said the security details didn't match the process, so we held it up and we said, no. This is not what the burn looks like, and we need to know who this person was. So we held it, and while we were holding it, waiting for a response on those issues, Alameda went bankrupt, of course, and then everything halted. So we know now they were trying to take money off the exchange. And so, Kevin, if you're worried about where your money is, it's probably in the hands of an Alameda person or an FTX person who holds private keys to a hardware wallet somewhere.
I do want to give a little love to the chat, though, real quick. If you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola. We got Super Snoopy, David, Jay, Ben, Randy, Squid D. We got JP, Lift Up the Banner, Aru B, Rosen, Mark Thomas, Jackie Tucker, Luke, Dione, One Hitta Quitta. We got Zoltan, Sephiroth, Ray A, Ty Guy, Joshua Scott, and Conrad Denif. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Welcome. All right, let's move on. So there we do have, and Robin and I were discussing this off camera. I asked him, do you agree that there's more politicians in our corner now than 2-3 years ago?
Hell no.
To which you said yes.
In our corner, no, not at this moment.
In crypto's corner?
No.
So you think we have less proponents of crypto now than we did 3 years ago?
I think in 2019, there were more people that were open to crypto than there is now.
What about 2018 in the last, let's compare bear market to bear market. 2017,
I think
2018 bear market?
Yeah, then 2018, then sure. I think late 2019, early 2020
Remember, Rob,
is when people started getting really...
This hearing, that's just a fraction of politicians.
I think people that were intrigued with crypto. I think the politicians that were like, oh, hey, this is innovative. This is a good space. Like, somebody explains crypto and Ethereum and smart contracts. They're like, wow, that has a lot of good use cases. And I think that they were starting to open up to it. They see the collapse, headline, this collapse. Next thing you know, you got somebody at your Thanksgiving table talking about how much energy Bitcoin uses, more than a country in Mexico. A country. A country in Africa, South America, whatever. Anyways,
A country in Australia.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I think
there's more.
that
I think
a
there's
lot
more
of people,
proponents.
I think a lot of people that weren't full degen, that weren't fully immersed in what this technology is going to be. I think politicians that were just like, oh, hey, that's great technology. It seems like the future. Yes. I think those people have all flipped. They were like, yeah, you know what? This thing is ripe with fraud and scams, and we're not seeing any real use case. Look, Bitcoin's down 75%. All these other projects went to zero. Meme coins, SEC. I think that the people on the fence have now fallen to the other side, the bad side of the fence. So.
Fair enough. I want to show a clip from the same hearing. Why? By the way, all these are from the Senate hearing. This is a Senator Pat Toomey, who is an advocate of crypto, and here's kind of what he had to say in regards to the failure of FTX and why it's not a failure of crypto as a whole.
But I want to underscore a bigger issue here. And that is that the wrongful behavior that occurred here is not specific to the underlying asset. What appears to have happened here is a complete breakdown in the handling of those assets. In our discussion of FTX today, I hope we're able to separate the likely illegal actions from perfectly lawful and innovative cryptocurrencies. Now, it's important to define this space. Cryptocurrencies are analogized to tokens, but they're actually software. The software protocols that are foundational to the crypto ecosystem are like operating systems, and then applications are run on top of these operating systems. Currently, there are many competing operating systems and many apps running on them. There's nothing intrinsically good or evil about software. It's about what people do with it. And with this analogy in mind, what we should all understand here is one simple thing. The code committed no crime. FTX and cryptocurrencies are not the same thing. FTX was opaque, centralized, and dishonest. Cryptocurrencies usually are open source, decentralized, and transparent. To those who think this episode justifies banning crypto, and I've actually heard that suggested, I'd ask you to think about several other historical parallels. The 2008 financial crisis involved obvious misuse of products related to mortgages. Did we decide to ban mortgages? Of course not. Commodity brokerage firm run by former New Jersey Senator John Corzine collapsed after customer funds, including U.S. dollars, were misappropriated to fill a shortfall from the firm's trading losses. Nobody suggested that the problem was the U.S. dollar or that we should ban it. With FTX, the problem is not the instruments that were used. The problem was the misuse of customer funds, gross mismanagement, and likely illegal behavior.
Thank you, Mr. Toomey. Thank you. I just don't understand. I mean, I guess I kind of understand why crypto gets treated so differently, right? When someone gets a DUI and crashes into something and accidentally hurts or kills someone, do they ban cars? Do they say cars are the worst invention? People should stop using cars. No, it's the person behind the wheel. Same thing when you talk about guns. Same thing when you talk about anything. Banks, investment companies, gas, like anything. So crypto was like one of the only asset classes where something happens, someone messes up, someone frauds people, and the space is terrible, ban it. Ban the space. Ban cars. It makes no sense to me. You got any commentary on this one, Robin?
No.
All right. The next one I want to show is so I forget who it was. They mentioned that we should ban crypto. Or Mr. Toomey said, someone on this panel mentioned we should ban crypto. Well, here is that someone. This is the law professor herself, Hillary J. Allen. Yeah. Please enjoy.
That when we talk about regulating crypto, we're often not being specific about the type of regulation we mean to apply. There are several different options. A ban on crypto, for example, would be the most straightforward way of protecting both investors and the financial system. And because crypto isn't really decentralized, it is possible to enforce such a ban. If policymakers don't wish to proceed with a ban, then they will need to be careful to.
She kind of looks like that person that like goes to a party and all she does is just complain about how there's no sugar-free pineapple juice for her vodka
Y'all got
pineapple.
Budweiser, Bud Light, Bud Select.
I'm on a very strict paleo diet, and so like there's no diet pineapple juice, and I'm offended. That's what she looks like. All right. Anyways, turn her A off. I would like to, but I think it's important for us to understand these are the people that are guiding our Congress people, or at least giving them ideas.
To ensure that any laws that they do adopt don't inadvertently make crypto too big to fail. Crypto should not be regulated like banking products because that would give crypto access to the government support that we afford to banking because of its critical role in providing credit and processing payments for the broader economy.
They've done really good
Banking
with that.
regulation should, however, continue to keep actual banks away from crypto. The harm from FTX's collapse has been limited to those who invested in crypto, but allowing crypto to integrate with the rest of our financial system could cause a broader.
Hold on. She said FTX has only caused harm to people that invested in crypto. Did Steph Curry invest in crypto? Has he been harmed? Has his image been harmed?
I think Steph Curry will be all right.
I'm just saying all the only
Poor
people are the
Tom
ones that
Brady,
deposited
okay?
money in FTX. There was plenty of people that got harmed that weren't having crypto on FTX. That's all I'm saying.
Let me call Giselle. I'll let you know.
I mean, what? Okay.
For some reason, I thought you said Jesus.
I thought he said Jesus too.
I was like, you got Jesus' phone number?
Giselle.
Rob, do you think she's scared or do you think
Giselle.
she's cold?
Gotcha.
I love Jesus. Jesus is my Lord. I mean that wholeheartedly.
Jesus?
It's actually Jesus. All right. So here's just to finish off here, guys. Just put a bow on this thing.
Financial crisis that would hurt those who never even invested.
Okay. Rob,
Think about the kids.
Crypto Karen is here. Okay.
Stop calling her Crypto Karen.
She is a crypto. Robin. In your humble opinion, which you're nothing, you're very far from humble. In your unhumble opinion, is a complete crypto ban. Is that even on the table?
No. You can't ban software from the internet.
Well, they banned Tornado Cash.
You can still use Tornado Cash. So you can still use Tornado Cash. VPN and
She is a lawyer. I'm sorry. Like she teaches at the Washington College of Law. What are you over here talking about blockchain and crypto for?
well, she's in finance.
Law. She's a lawyer.
In finance.
A lawyer.
In finance.
So you like her? You want to take her on a date?
No, I'm just saying that she does have
You're
a
a
resume
traitor.
to speak on the subject, whether or not she's misinformed
You're a traitor.
on the space.
Well, you have to be anybody can be a crypto expert, right? No, you don't have to limit there.
Yeah, I mean, if she would have been a gardener or a doctor, I'd understand the premise, but she's a lawyer
Or an
in
actor?
finance, so it's like,
Yeah.
Or if you're an actor, then that also makes you.
You know what else, Robin? You know what else? She said, she's so credible in our space, and she understands blockchain so well that this is what she had to say.
The final point I want to make is that if we have little to lose from limiting the growth of the crypto industry. The underlying blockchain technology can never deliver on the industry's promises, both because the technology itself is not very good and because technology is only a tool. After 15 years without a killer app, it is time for policymakers to listen to the technologists explaining why blockchain technology is fundamentally not fit for purpose. Even if it were good technology, though, it would not fix the underlying political and structural problems that limit access to financial services. In many ways, relying on the crypto industry to approve access.
And she's qualified to speak.
I'm just saying.
Come
that
on, bro. This lady
if
knows
she's
nothing.
I'm not saying
She's a clown.
I'm not saying that. You're saying she's a lawyer. Why is she up here? Like I'm just saying she's
Sorry, she's a clown lawyer.
She's a professor and a lawyer when
She's
it
a
comes
professor.
when
Yeah.
it comes to finance. So I mean,
Good job.
Okay,
You're talking about something.
Okay.
Not you. Her. Good job.
But
Good
here-
job, Karen.
Oh, here's the thing. Yeah, I don't like her. I don't think anybody in our chat likes her. But here's the thing.
You don't like her. You love her.
No, you gotta, David. You
Rule number one, I
gotta the
love it.
same way that you gotta bring both sides of the table out to make arguments when it comes to
But these are not
legislation.
valid arguments. These are bullshit arguments.
You could say they're
They
not
make no
very good.
sense.
They're
You're such an idiot,
not.
Kyler.
They're not. I understand, but you can't have four people that are all pro crypto testifying.
It's not about being pro crypto. It's about understanding. If you come out and say blockchain does nothing for the unbanked, you are full of crap. Crypto does nothing for the unbanked. Really?
That's her perspective, man.
But it's not true. It's difference between
And also
truth and
there's
perspective.
Bitcoin homers that sit here and say that Bitcoin can replace everything. It can replace a soda machine. It can replace like
Who says
like
that?
the Bitcoin maxis.
In front
they
of
think that
Congress.
Bitcoin can replace
Okay.
everything.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that yes, you're gonna have people on both ends of the spectrum. People that absolutely despise crypto and everything it stands for, and they believe in nothing that it represents. Like that's what you're gonna get. You also have people that are gonna speak on the other side of the fence. That's what you do. You're going to get a panel of experts that stand on both sides of the fence. You're going to ask them questions and you're going to get their perspective.
Robin, how much did she pay you to say all this?
I don't like the lady. I'm just saying that they're going to put, they're
Are you
going to
in
have
cahoots
two,
with the law
if they
professor?
have four people on the panel answering questions, they have two pro crypto, two against crypto.
They have one person who all he cares about is his bottom pocket. They have one person who's a lawyer who understands nothing about blockchain and crypto, who's a securities lawyer. You have an actor. And then you have the, who's that other lady? Sculp?
Actually, you have two actors because Kevin O'Leary is technically an actor.
There you go.
so,
And then just to end with Miss Hillary Allen.
I would like to make 3 points today. The first is that FTX's failure was not an isolated incident, but is symptomatic of many broader problems in the crypto industry. FTX is just the latest in the series of major crypto industry failures of centralized crypto intermediaries like Celsius, and failures of DeFi offerings like Terra Luna. These failures arose in large part because of a feature that is unique to the crypto industry. Crypto assets can be made up out of thin air. When assets can be made up out of thin air, that generates leverage that makes the whole system more vulnerable to booms and busts. When assets can be made up out of thin air, they can also be used to obscure financial realities, as was done with FTX's FTT tokens, which were used as collateral for the FTX customer assets loaned to Alameda. How can you have any reliable check on the valuation of an asset with no productive capacity behind it? The attestations and proofs of reserves offered by the crypto industry are poor substitutes for rigorous and independent audits. Such an environment is highly conducive to fraud. Sam Bankman-Fried may have engaged in good old-fashioned embezzlement, as it was put yesterday, but the embezzlement was able to reach such a scale and go undetected for so long because it was crypto, shrouded in opacity.
No, because Gary Gensler didn't want to look into it.
4 years.
4 years.
How long did it take Madoff?
They're looking at Kim Kardashian's Instagram posts, okay? That said #ad, and they sued her. He was watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
You know what's funny is that she was like, crypto assets can be created out of thin air. So can the dollar.
The dollar is literally created out of thin air.
went 4 times. We were like, how much money we got in the system? How many dollars are out there? Let's multiply that by 4. That's what happened in 2020 to 2022. 3.75% multiplied, or 3.75 multiplied the percentage. However, I think it was like 2 point something trillion dollars. We went up to like 8 in circulation. That is creating out of thin air. And who does it best? Government. United States.
You can collect paper bills.
Yeah.
You collect STT.
You say collecting pepper mills?
Paper bills.
Love paper. Oh, paper bills.
Well, look at Zimbabwe.
We do got a few new people in the chat here. If you're new here, say hit what's up so I can drop an hola. We got Bud Eth, Dennis J, Ethan Luck. We got Jonathan M. Here we go again. Rick Rada, Mark G, Naomi Bolo, Julio, Mark Garza, and that's
Rob,
it. Hola, welcome.
Rob, do you remember when you showed me a chat comment that said, look into Alameda's arbitrage or whatever months before? I think Naomi is that person. Naomi Bolo. If you are Naomi, if you are, let us know because we want to give you a props. All right. Let's move on to Rob's Boothang, which is Miss Pocahontas, aka Elizabeth Warren, where she talks about banks versus.
Just stop calling her Pocahontas.
But it's
Nothing
funny.
about her
It's
is
funny.
Pocahontas.
Well, she said she's Native Indian. She's Native American.
Is she?
That's what she said. She identifies.
1/16 Cherokee.
She looks
Kyler, why don't you bring your camera feed in, bro? I want to show the people what's up. If you're not familiar, this is our man, Kyler. He is taking over the board. We are actually kicking Rocco out. We've come to the conclusion that Rocco is hating on me too much. No, I'm just kidding. So Kyler will be running our board for the next couple weeks. Rocco
I like
is taking
funny
a
chats too. So you do funny chats. That'll get you on the stream.
You know what? Rocco said he's going on vacation. I forgot to ask, where the hell are you going, Rocco?
He's going to eat the barbecue chicken pizza.
I rented this place and I'm going to bring it to you in a piece of cheese. And I'm doing my Italian accent on top of my Italian accent.
You don't need to do an Italian accent. Just talk.
That's
You already
misuse
have
of
one,
leverage
Rocco.
right there.
That's leverage. It's
yeah.
3x Italian leverage.
Yeah, so Rocco's birthday's coming up, and he's taking a well-deserved birthday vacation trip. So we're getting Kyler some running.
Bring me back
on
on those porcelain plates. Wherever you're
You
going.
and those dumb plates, bro.
They
Okay.
hang-
That's
they're
why,
outside.
that's
They're
not a
outside of
thing.
my courtyard. I got a bunch
It
of
was Naomi.
Mexico plate.
You know what, Naomi? Make sure to come back tomorrow. Rob, do you remember which video that was from? I want to pull it. I want to show it.
One of the Celsius.
Yes.
crashing.
Come back tomorrow, Naomi.
Or
We
no.
will show your comment. We will give you the credit you deserve. I love it. All right. Robin, I'm not sure if you're going to be upset or happy about the way your lady spoke, but here we go.
Right now, if a bank takes money from terrorists and the bank and the banker then have broken the law. And that's why banks spend so much time and so much energy identifying who their customers are and reporting suspicious activity to authorities. A lot of crypto firms are not doing these kinds of checks. So crypto has become the preferred tool for terrorists, for ransomware gangs, for drug dealers, and for rogue states.
That is such a horseshit comment. You're telling me a drug dealer would rather use Bitcoin than cash.
Way more trackable. Why would you use Bitcoin versus cash?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so infuriating watching these people who are supposed to work for the people.
Are they still
They're
going back?
elected and they're paid by our tax dollars. And they're over here spewing nonsense. Literally, like, it is so far from the truth. And you have numbers. It's not even about what I think. It is literally fact. It is fact. No drug dealer is going to say, actually, I don't want cash. Will you give me Bitcoin? Idiot.
They use Litecoin, excuse me.
That want to launder money. In 2021, at least $14 billion in digital assets went to criminals. Now, that's a lot of drugs and a lot of ransoms and a lot of bombs and a lot of nuclear materials.
bombs now.
But it is likely only the tip of the iceberg. A new report finds that one crypto exchange alone helped launder over $10 billion for criminals and countries like Iran. Even so, the crypto industry continues to take the position nothing should change. Professor Allen, the crypto industry claims that it doesn't need to do all of the know your customer and other anti-money laundering checks that banks do and stockbrokers do and even Western Union does because crypto is uniquely transparent. Everything is on the blockchain, so criminals and rogue states that try to launder money in crypto will quickly be found out. Does the fact that the blockchain is public mean that it is more difficult for criminals to launder money using crypto?
Before an answer is given, I want you guys to pay attention to something. Pay attention to the person answering the question that Elizabeth Warren put out, and pay attention to Elizabeth Warren's response. And I want to remind you, when people come in front of her and they start giving answers that she is not looking for or doesn't want to hear, what does she do, Robin? She interrupts and cuts them off. and tries to reword the question and get the answer she wants. Pay attention.
Dude, look at that stare, man.
I pay
She's
my
like,
drug dealer with Zoltan. That's funny. All right, here we go. Here's the answer to that question.
In many ways, the blockchain is the worst of all worlds. For everyday people, the blockchain is a permanent public record of all their transactions, which is a privacy nightmare. But for sophisticated players with a vested interest in hiding their transactions, there are
So now we care about privacy. First, you say privacy is no good. Now you say, well, blockchain's bad because it's a privacy nightmare. Everyone's transactions are on the blockchain. Make up your mind. Are you for privacy or are you not for privacy? You can't have your cake and eat it too. Idiot.
all kinds of tools available, mixers, tumblers, etc., that can hide the provenance of their crypto assets. And far from being difficult for criminals to use crypto to launder money, the fact that there aren't KYC checks is the point.
Okay, so crypto is actually easier to do money laundering.
Well, Robin?
I've heard this over and over again.
So give us your take.
It's Elizabeth Warren just hating on crypto.
Got one of those.
I mean, here's the thing. We already have KYC when it comes to exchanges. You can't open up a Coinbase account without KYC. And so the thing is that if you keep pushing these exchanges away from the US, you're going to get less and less KYC. So here's the thing. If your narrative is that, hey, we need a trackability and accountability, or whatever it is, we need to know who's got what money and where is it going. The no-brainer answer would be bring the exchange to the US, have them open up here, and ideally go do what Coinbase did. Go follow in their footsteps. Be a publicly traded company. Everything's transparent. Your proof of reserves are there. You know, you have your quarterly statements. You have your CFO, that your chief financial officer that has a background in finance. Like it's a solution. But the solution that they're proposing is to kick crypto out of the US is doing the exact opposite. Because if you're gonna use crypto, at least if it's in the US, you're already KYC'd, right?
So she, Elizabeth didn't stop there. She also went after Mr. O'Leary. Nah.
So, Mr. O'Leary, I know that you are a big supporter of crypto, even after you lost $10 million in FTX's collapse. But you are an experienced investor. So let me ask you, do you believe that the potential benefits of crypto are so promising that we should accept weaker anti-money laundering rules and weaker compliance from crypto firms than we require from banks, from brokers, and from Western Union?
No, I think we should apply the same regulatory structure that we apply to existing trading of stocks and bonds on exchanges tied to broker-dealers. That is not complicated. It's already been implemented in other countries. And so, and I take issue, Senator, with your concept that it makes it easier to do money laundering. Currencies have been used for drug trafficking since the 60s in the American dollar, when it was thrown out of a Piper aircraft in a duffel bag. The American dollar is also used by bad actors all the time.
Mr. O'Leary, I appreciate your point that everyone tries to engage in money.
There it is. When it's something she does not want to hear or knows will go against her point, she cuts people off. I cut her off.
Laundering. That's what terrorists do. That's what drug dealers do. And that's what states like Iran and North Korea have done. The only point I'm trying to make is, should the same rules against money laundering apply to crypto in the way that they apply to banks, to stockbrokers, to credit card companies, to Western Union? And I think your answer to that was yes. Is that right?
No.
Mr. O'Leary, you have 30 seconds. Keep your answer short. You're
It's
30
not yes. I'm just saying, if you know your client rules on both sides of the transaction and use a crypto such as USDC that is regulated, you solve this problem, Senator, overnight.
Well, I appreciate that you want the same kind of rules to apply to everyone, and we can talk about what's needed to make that happen. You know, the dark underbelly of crypto is its critical link to financing terrorism and human trafficking and
She
drug
keeps
dealing
using-
and
Here
helping
again. All these
rogue nations
buzzwords,
like
bro.
North Korea and Iran.
Iran, North Korea, nukes, terrorists.
Even Dave wants to use Litecoin to buy the yogurt and Doritos.
Man.
Rocco is infatuated with two things: Litecoin and something else I'm not going to talk about.
You guys enjoying this congressional coverage here? This is the people. These are the discussions. The sad part is this is the discussions that are going on right now that will shape our industry going forward. And so the people's narratives and people's questions and answers are taken into account and used in drafting new laws, proposals, bills, and those will eventually get voted on and be the regulatory structure that we move forward.
Robin, I am so happy. Okay, I don't know whether to give credit to you or to me, because that was such a great segue. But do I give credit to you in giving me that segue? Do I give credit to myself in finding that piece of information and plugging it into what you're saying? Either way, you spoke of law, bill, regulation. Well, Elizabeth is pushing a crypto bill. By the way, her success rate is less than 0.5%. I'm being dead serious. I'm not even kidding. She's, I forget the number. She's only had 3 of her bills passed out of like 200 and something. Chances are this thing is not going to pass, thank God. Elizabeth Warren pushes strict crypto bill to empower the Securities and Exchange Commission. Wants to put him in charge of the asset class. On December 7th, Semaphore reported that Elizabeth was researching a range of crypto-related issues, including regulation, taxation, climate, and national security. She said that crypto is the new shadow bank. And then her bill ensuring broker-dealers and crypto exchanges comply with providing audited financial statements. She would like to impose bank-like capital requirements. What are bank-like capital requirements, Miss Elizabeth Warren? 0? Literally, the fractional reserve rate for banks right now is 0. So if banks have $5 billion worth of liabilities, people's deposits at the bank, $5 billion they're responsible for right now, since March of 2020, they've had to hold 0 of it in their bank. And if there's a bank run, guess what they'll have to do? They'll have to go borrow money from other banks. They'll have to go borrow money from the central bank. So, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm on one today, bro. This is pissing me off. The bill also seeks to prevent crypto companies from using customer funds for investments elsewhere.
Yep.
I mean, so you say you want to impose bank-like capital requirements. You want them to operate like a bank. You've called them a shadow bank, which is like a bank but not regulated. But you don't want to. But banks rehypothecate. Banks take our deposits, lend it out, and then they make money and give us 0.00001%. But you want to stop that. It just doesn't make any sense. It makes 0 sense. 0 cents. Like, how do we have such a slew of people we voted in that are getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, that are multi-millionaires, that all they do is contradict themselves? That's all they literally do is contradict themselves. It doesn't take a genius. You got a freaking YouTube channel with 6,200 subscribers over here calling your BS. Gotta give a little credit to us. We are the best YouTube channel in crypto. Thank you very much. So, yeah. I'm just very upset today, guys. I'm sorry. I'm extremely upset. I'm very annoyed. It's just frustrating when you understand more about this technology than the people that are trying to regulate it and change the future of cryptocurrency. It's just very frustrating. And I'm very sad. If you're new in the chat, please drop an hola. We'd love to welcome you personally.
We do
to the
have
Sin City Crypto Fame.
Fernando We also got the right lifer friend. We got Willie Blong and Jalden 1980, and also another Luke in here. Hola, welcome to Sin City Crypto.
I want to kind of close out the congressional hearing stuff. I want to talk about Pat Toomey. I want to end on a positive note here.
We got to cover the Kevin O'Leary's answer to Pat Toomey's question when it comes to why did FTX crash?
Oh, the Binance thing? Okay.
That's the biggest video.
All right, here we go. Kevin O'Leary, when asked about Binance or FTX, why did it go under? This is what he had to say.
So let me ask you directly. You were an investor in FTX, and I know you've spoken frequently with Sam Bankman-Fried over an extended period of time. Why do you believe FTX failed?
I have an opinion. I don't have the records. Here it is. After my accounts were stripped of all of their assets and all of the accounting and trade information, I couldn't get answers from any of the executives in the firm, so I simply called Sam Bankman-Fried and said, "Where is the money, Sam?" He said he had been refused access to the servers. He no longer knew. I said, "Okay, let's step back. This is a simple case in my mind of where did the money go?" And I said, "Sam, walk me back 24 months. Tell me the use of proceeds of the assets of your company. Where did you spend it?" And then he told me about a transaction that occurred over the last 24 months, the repurchase of his shares from Binance, his competitor. I didn't know this at the time, but at some point, CZ or Binance, who runs Binance, purchased 20% ownership in Sam Bankman-Fried's firm for seed stock. And then, over time, and I asked him, what would compel you to spend $2 billion was the number he was giving me at that time. Later, in a subsequent conversation, about 24 hours later, he told me it could have been as much as $3 billion to buy back the shares from CZ. I asked him, what would compel you to do that? Why wouldn't you keep your assets on your balance sheet? And why would you offer this to just one shareholder? He said, because every time we went to get licensed in different jurisdictions, because you must understand the prize of crypto is to get regulated. For all the talk we say about Bitcoin and everything else, no institutions own this. I work for the sovereign wealth and pension plans. They don't touch this stuff because it's unregulated. Between these two, let's call them frenemies, because they obviously were potentially the two largest shareholders in the firm, they had a disagreement. They had a falling apart. Apparently, according to Sam Bankman-Fried, CZ would not comply with the regulators' request in these different geographies, these different jurisdictions, to provide the data that would clear them for a license. He withheld it, according to Sam Bankman-Fried. The only option...
You buy that, Robin?
That
CZ was intentionally holding him up?
They had a fallout. At some point, he decided to dump all of his FTT token, knowing damn well it was going to crush the project. So, was there a disagreement between the two? Hell yeah, obviously they were, because he could have over-counter sold it. He could have been like, hey, I want out of FTT, buy it or I'm going to dump it on the market. And even when he tweeted and said, hey, I'm going to start selling FTT token over the course of the next 6 months, he tweeted that, and then Alameda Research, whoever it was, DM'd him or tweeted at him. He was like, yo, we'll buy it from you at market. Now, you can discuss whether or not FTT was viable, overprinted. That's irregardless. I mean, it was a trash token. It was a Ponzi scheme of sorts as far as what FTT was doing. But at the end of the day, CZ knew what he was doing. And it was intentional. And why did he do it? Had to have been something between the two of them. Now, whether or not it's because CZ was holding him up from getting regulation, and maybe maybe FTX was going to get registered with some kind of government entity, whether it be the United States or in the EU. Obviously, you could go to the World Economic Forum and you could see finance the FTX there. Also, his mom worked for the WEF, and his aunt has ties there as well. And so perhaps he was about to expand into regulated markets, and CZ didn't want to go aboard with it. And he was like, you know what? I don't like you. Your business is growing. You're now number 2, the second largest exchange in the world.
You're saying CZ's trying to create a monopoly.
I think he just might have been like, yo, I need to cut. I got an opportunity to deliver a knockout punch to the competition. You don't think it's possible? I mean, you're over here. You're over here
I think it's
talking
possible.
about how Kevin O'Leary is so money hungry. Everything he's doing. I'm just saying. I don't
trust anyone. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it's not only possible but probable that CZ saw an opportunity to take out the biggest competitor in the space, and he knew exactly what to do it, and he delivered.
I can subscribe to that idea.
We'll play the rest of the video because it's
Speaking of subscribing, please subscribe to our channel. All right. Here's the rest of Mr. O'Leary and what he had to say. No, what happened?
So let's talk about what comes next. To create a well-defined regulatory. Now, if this is seen as not needed, is created legislation.
This is not the same interview.
So let me ask you directly. You were an investor.
Bitcoin and everything else, no institute, different jurisdictions, because you must understand the prize of crypto is to get regulated. For all the talk we say about Bitcoin and everything else, no institutions own this. I work for the sovereign wealth and pension plans. They don't touch this stuff because it's unregulated. Between these two, let's call them frenemies, because they obviously were potentially the two largest shareholders in the firm, they had a disagreement. They had a falling apart. Apparently, according to Sam Bankman-Fried, CZ would not comply with the regulators' request in these different geographies, these different jurisdictions, to provide the data that would clear them for a license. He withheld it, according to Sam Bankman-Fried. The only option the management and Sam Bankman-Fried had was to buy him out at an extraordinary valuation of close to $32 billion, less apparently a 15% discount. That stripped the balance sheet of assets. You ask me why it went bankrupt? Go to the last week. All of a sudden, in social media, CZ is asking for another $500 million. He wants to do a block trade of FTT, or the proprietary token of FTX. Wants it converted back to fiat. Why would you put that out there? You know it's going to push down the pressure. It's going to push down the value of that coin dramatically, and that's exactly what happened. Every trader knows if you have a large block trade, you go negotiate a clearing price with other buyers and you do the transaction. In my view, my personal opinion, these two behemoths that own the unregulated market together and grew these incredible businesses in terms of growth were at war with each other. And one put the other out of business intentionally. Now, maybe there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe there's nothing wrong with love and war. But Binance is a massive, unregulated global monopoly now. They put FTX out of business. Now, lots of other reasons, I'm sure, but that's my personal opinion. That is what Sam Bankman-Fried told me in terms of where the assets went. Why should we care? Single reason. I'm a shareholder. You tell me the two largest shareholders do a transaction together, that's a related party transaction. I'm not sure that's okay. Maybe I want a Madoff clawback on those proceeds. Maybe I want to pursue that.
Mr. O'Leary, I'm sorry, you're about 3 minutes over. You have. O'Leary, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he did sound like Alex Jones.
You know, okay. I want to say that I think it's foolish to sit here and think that the sole reason or the FTX went under because CZ tried to sell off his stocks or his FTT token, get his initial investment out all at once. Obviously, I think that's essentially what killed him. Yes, it's the catalyst. It's what did him under. But the house itself was built on a shaky infrastructure or not even a real infrastructure. And somebody just came in and pulled out one support beam and the whole thing came crashing down. And was the support beam CZ? Did he see that the structure of the house was unstable? And he knew pulling out that piece of wood or that support beam would essentially collapse the whole structure? I think he did. Now, maybe you could sit here and say, you can make an argument that, hey, the problem lied within the entire development of the house. Maybe the entire company was built on fraud and speculation, which I adamantly believe it is. I don't think anything about FTX was run efficiently, properly, transparently. I think the whole thing was ripe with fraud from top to bottom.
We definitely know it wasn't efficient. They used QuickBooks.
And I think Kevin O'Leary just simply, or not Kevin O'Leary, CZ from Binance noticed. He's like, first of all, he made a profit. He invested early. He invested early in FTX. He made a profit. But at some point, he's like, holy crap, this early investment grew into such a big competitor that now it's not okay. And you know what? I still have stake in the company, and I know how I can collapse them. It's just to remove my equity in a way that's publicly done on Twitter, saying I'm going to dump the tokens. And we know what happens to the price when you sell half. It was like $30. What did it go under? It was $28 or $30.
No, it was closer to the $22 when he announced he was going to sell it.
Yeah, well, wherever the price was. I know they were trying to keep it supported at $20. So it was over $20.
Okay.
So you have a token that's over $20 and you're just selling millions of them, man. You know?
Raul, that is true. QuickBooks.
Yes, they were using QuickBooks to manage their books.
Look, even if you subscribe to the idea that CZ brought FTX down, they're the reason they went under. Is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing? Because imagine if that didn't happen.
You know what's a better thing?
And FTX grew to the largest exchange in the world.
FTX, obviously, it doesn't belong, right? Is the right way of going about it to burn the house down? You know, if there's a drug dealer across the street and they're selling crack out of their house, methamphetamines, whatever, fentanyl, let's just say right across the street, you know there's a known drug dealer. Is the right decision to go over there and set the house on fire? Or is it to call the authorities
if it affects the entire neighborhood?
Don't tell me it's okay to go light the drug dealer's house on fire.
You're comparing two complete different things.
No, that's what I'm saying is that he literally burned the house down. CZ burned the house down.
The drug dealer.
You know what CZ should have did? He should have taken all the evidence, all the numbers, all the accounts.
People were doing that. They were doing that with Gary Gensler. You had these projects that were getting absolutely destroyed by FTX and Alameda, aka New Genesis. That took that information to Gary Gensler. What did they do? Nothing.
I think he should have went about it a different way. I think he should have lobbied Congress. He should have brought evidence. He should have.
I need to lobby Congress to make sure they put criminals behind bars.
Okay, so he burned a house down and he collected all the money.
What do you mean collected all the money?
All the market share, all the Binance has now substantially become a larger monopoly, a larger company, larger market share because they got rid of the competition.
They just had $5 billion of withdrawals in a day.
Because
and a
now
half.
people are questioning what the hell is going on with Binance. People are questioning their motives. And you know what? Maybe that was unforeseen. But at the time, CZ's all like, yo, sell that dude. Sell these tokens. You know what I'm saying?
You cannot subscribe to the idea that CZ is the one who put FTX out of business.
He did. Now, was the company built on fraud, deception? Was there illegal activity from top to bottom? Would it have went under eventually? Yes. However, CZ is the one that lit the match and burnt the house down. Was the drug dealer? Were they gonna get arrested by the cops? Was something gonna happen? Probably. But you know what? He expedited the whole situation. He poured the gasoline. He lit the match. The whole thing went up in flames. And that's how he chose to handle that situation.
You know what? Actually, pissing me off. You want to know who started this whole thing?
Who started?
Where is it? Where the hell is it?
What are you gonna pull up Dokkan?
Calm down.
Bruce Lee? But this would be a perfect BitConnect video.
Co-CEO of FTX, Ryan Salami, is the one who blew the whistle on FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried.
I love salami, bro. Do you like the salami with the little crunchy things in it?
No,
Was it like
peppercorns?
Can I say
peppercorns?
something?
Those are peppercorns.
When we're gonna say something to somebody that doesn't act straight, we call him a salami.
Oh yeah.
Somebody there's a salami as a
You know
as a
what,
last
What
name.
are
I
you
think he's
talking
doomed.
about?
You know what my mom calls people in Portuguese? She calls people camels. The people that she like she's at DMV and like the lady's all like, "Oh, you're in the wrong line." She'll smile and be like, "What a camel you are," in Portuguese.
How do you say it in Portuguese?
Camilla.
Camilla. Mr. Camila.
He's like, very nice Camilla.
You mean like a
All
Vice
I'm
President?
saying, bro, all I'm saying is you're over here saying that he should have gone to the authorities. People tried and nothing happened, dude.
I'm sorry, but just destroying another business by doing it publicly, by selling
The business was destroying itself, Robin.
Oh no, I'm not saying it was a legitimate business. I'm not saying that Farmer
Sounds
John
like you're
over
a paid
here.
spokesperson for FTX. How much did you get paid?
I'm just saying that the way it went down, CZ's put on this pedestal as some hero of
No,
crypto.
I'm not-
And
I
you
don't
know what?
think he's
Sam
a hero.
Bankman-Fried was a hero of crypto.
I do not.
All these
I
other
am
people.
skeptical
Do Kwon was a hero
I am
of DeFi.
skeptical of Changpeng Zhao. I am skeptical. Honestly,
I'm saying,
I am
man.
skeptical. But to say he's the one to put him out of business, I don't buy that. Do you guys
So
buy
you
it?
don't think? So you think if he didn't tweet? Let me ask you a question. He didn't tweet. I'm selling $500 million of FTT token. You think that FTX would have went under at the exact same day it did?
Of course, not the exact same day, but they were on their way to going under anyways.
That's what I'm saying. Is that he tweeted it. He caused the sell pressure. It collapsed from there. So he
Why
was
did it collapse?
the catalyst.
But why did it collapse, Robin? Why did it collapse? Because they had no money to give people on their when they went to withdraw their money.
That's what I'm saying. He recognized it. CZ knew it. CZ was like, "Yo, they don't have enough cash." What happened right before he tweeted it? What happened right before he tweeted it? Right before CZ tweeted that he's selling his FTT tokens, the Reuters article came out. It said that Alameda Research has all of their value in FTT.
Okay.
Remember?
You got your facts wrong. Hold on, let me correct you. First of all, it was CoinDesk. Second of all,
CoinDesk.
that came out before CZ said he sold.
You know, exactly. So think about it. Okay, no, I'm just saying. Just hear me out before you interrupt me. The article came out. What was the article outlining?
Alameda's balance sheet
Yes,
is
and what was
heavily
the strongest asset?
FTT.
Okay, what did CZ tweet out 2 or 3 days later? I'm selling my FTT token. What is the biggest asset in Alameda? And what happens if you crash the price
They
of
don't
FTT?
have any other asset. He wanted to cut ties with FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried.
He wanted to crush the business.
Of course.
Okay,
Of course.
So,
He's like,
so
all right.
literally, he
probably
the
took a big
article,
L from it.
CoinDesk article came out. It said, "Hey, most of the value is in FTT. If FTT were to go to zero, Alameda would go to zero. So would FTX." It was a foregone conclusion. That came out the same week he tweeted the I'm selling my FTT token, because he knew the second he said that, the price would tank, Alameda would tank, FTX would tank, and he pulled the trigger. If he wanted out, like you said, if he wanted out so badly, he could have just called Alameda and been like, "Yo, I'm going to sell your tokens unless you give me over the counter," which they publicly came out and said, "We'll buy it over the counter. Just don't
With
take
whose
the
money?
price."
With your money.
It doesn't matter whose money it was. I'm just referencing. No, I'm referencing the cause and effect. What caused FTT to go under? I'm talking about our subject matter that we have at this exact moment. You're making this case that FTX was going to implode and go under at the exact moment that CZ tweeted out that he was going under.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on. All I know is it was a good thing that FTX is no longer in the picture. Can we agree on that? And end it there?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about Synth. My girl Cynthia Lums, who has wavered a little bit, I might add. Here's what she had to say.
Hearing tomorrow.
We're conflating topics today. Digital assets are not on trial. Fraud and organizations are on trial. So let's separate digital assets from corrupt organizations. FTX, as I've been saying for the last few weeks, is good old-fashioned fraud. And what they did is separate from digital assets. Now, we've all heard that FTX lent its executives hundreds of millions of dollars in commingled customer funds for personal use, and customers who tried to wire money to FTX were instead given Alameda's routing number. That is fraud. That's fraud whether it's conducted in US dollars or euros or digital assets. That is fraud.
Thank you. Thank you. It doesn't matter if it's crypto or banks or stock market. Fraud is fraud. Stop attacking what you're not supposed to attack. And I want to end our congressional hearing coverage with this, with Senator Pat Toomey. Put a little to give you some hope, to give me some hope.
So let's talk about what comes next. Some of my colleagues have suggested somehow pausing cryptocurrency before we pass legislation. This is a profoundly misguided, not to mention impossible idea. Short of enacting draconian authoritarian policies, cryptocurrency cannot be stopped. If we tried, the technology would simply migrate offshore. Cryptocurrency does not need brick and mortar facilities to operate. And typing computer code should clearly be seen as a form of protected speech. Are we going to decide to pause the Constitution in order to stop crypto? This is exactly the kind of mindset that has driven this activity to the darker and less regulated parts of the world. Now, if Congress had passed legislation to create a well-defined regulatory regime with sensible guardrails, we'd have multiple U.S. exchanges competing here under the full force of those laws and regulations. In that scenario, it's not clear that FTX would have ever existed, at least on the scale that it did, not if we had American companies that were an alternative and properly regulated.
Such a good point. Such a good point, man. I'm sorry. That is the best point that I've seen from that hearing. What about you, Robin? What stood out? Just kind of wrap up the hearing side of things. What stood out to you the most? I know I didn't watch from top to bottom like you did.
know what? I'd take what was
Maybe a good thing and a bad thing. Give us a pro and a con.
So what I take away is what everybody was in agreement with. And so my takeaways is that every person on that panel, they all agreed that there is issues with exchanges and that this is a likely event to happen again if we do nothing. Everyone agrees. And this is not a one-off case. There's probably multiple exchanges out there that have tokens that don't exist, that trade against their users, knowing information their users don't, or having tools to manipulate the markets to take from their users. I think that is something that happens. And so my biggest takeaway on the negative side is that, one, these exchanges, what happened with FTX, is happening in the entire market. Maybe it's not every exchange that does it, but there are other exchanges that are doing the same activity, maybe just in a more buttoned up way than FTX was doing it. And without regulation of exchanges, I'm not talking about crypto, but without regulation of the custodial agents, without some kind of oversight as far as transparency, hey, you're holding this guy's assets. Can we just verify that you're holding those guys' assets? You're not using it. That's all we need. That there And then 2, on a positive note, my big takeaway is once again regulation, and that it's on both sides.
Go ahead.
Negative and positive. And so on a positive note, the only thing holding the entire crypto industry back and the adoption of institutions and is to have it done here, have the regulation here, keep the talent that comes out of colleges here in the U.S., build here in the U.S. That's it, baby. And also, I want to give a little love to our boy AAE, dropping a $2 super chat. He said,
Hi.
Code commit is protected speech and TLS handshakes. What's TLS stand for?
The legislative structure. No idea. I think it's I have no idea.
A lot of hate though, man. A lot of hate in that congressional hearing.
Yeah.
That was another big takeaway.
You know, guys, it's important to remember crypto is not going anywhere. They cannot shut crypto off. They cannot pause it. And if they decide to overregulate it here in the US, well, guess what? Crypto blockchain is borderless. It does not care. It will continue to live on. Don't be worried. Don't be scared. If anything, we'll just have to move away from the US and move somewhere that's more pro crypto, which is fine. Or we just get a better VPN. Someone mentioned everyone just get a ledger. Jenny, cannot disagree with that. If you don't have a ledger and you want to buy one and you like our content and this channel and you want to help us out and forget the word I'm looking for.
Hit the link. There you go. In the description.
Click the link in the description. Also, everyone is getting 10% off of our merch store, guys. We have some really cool stuff on there. You have Sin City stuff. You also have just general crypto stuff. 10% off. Very, very high quality. If you're a whale member of our channel, you get 15% off until December. Also, go follow us on social media. We're pretty active on Twitter at Sin City Crypto 1. And everything else is linked in the description of this video. With that being said,
well, before we wrap it up, I just want to give a last shout out to some of the new people.
Transport Layer Security.
We got Nabil, Digital, Woody the Great, AAE, who also dropped the super chat, Rodney C, Crypto, Submethod, Mojo, and Benjamin Coles. Hola! Welcome.
Hola, and tornado. Tyler. Friends, family, friends, and family friends. We thank you guys so much for joining us on this one day before Friday. On behalf of myself, what the?
Didn't let me control things.
Well, if we don't see you tomorrow, we've been canceled. On behalf of myself, Robin, Rocco, and Kyler, thank you guys so much. Tomorrow's Forest Friday. We'll see you then. Boom.